Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to cover a little bit about some Uber promotions here in upstate New York. I'm about 150 miles north of New York City, so this covers the Albany, Schenectady, Troy region. Upstate New York also extends far to the west towards Syracuse and Buffalo. Up to the north towards Saratoga, Plattsburgh, but I'm pretty much in the capital region, so I'm around Albany, Schenectady, Troy, Saratoga. And I've been driving for Uber and Lyft for a year and a half. When they came here, Uber had, for the first month, tons of Quest promotions. It was easy to make $1,000 a week between the both of them. And you could do it for, 35, 40 hours. 50 trips back then, they'd give you another $250. They were paying out like $5 a trip, and you had a week to do them. Sometimes they would be, sometimes you'd have 4 days, or there'd be a separate one on the weekend, but it was really good. And then they just pulled them. And I got really discouraged and really never drove much after that because I felt like, wow, this is just a huge pay cut. Now going from making about $12, $13, $14 a ride back down to, $6, $7, $8 a ride, it was just ridiculous. And finally, I don't know why, but I don't know if they're short on drivers. I don't know if it's because the IPO is coming up and there's some pressure. But I got this offer back on March the 18th, and it was pretty simple. Just do 50 trips. I had till April the 18th. The details aren't there, but I had a month to do these. It was very easy. 50 trips, and they guaranteed that I would make $500. If I didn't make $500, they'd pay the difference. And that's what happened. This did not include tips, by the way. This was just fares. So here's what happened. I ended up making $397 in fares and about $50 in tips. So Uber made up the difference, and with the promotion, paid out another $103. So it turned out I made, $10 per trip. I was guaranteed. Plus, with my tips, I made a little bit more than that. That's still below what I was doing a year and a half ago. But this is, to Uber's credit, this is going in the right direction. They've been doing nothing, offering no incentives, and they finally did this. But unfortunately, I'm going to show you the latest offer that I got for this week. This was good for Monday, I think, through Saturday. So from 6 to 9 a.m., this was up to 5 trips. You could get $4 extra for each trip, up to 5 trips between 6 and 9, and then $3 extra per trip, up to 5 trips between 4 and 6 p.m. So in this one, you could get an extra $20 a day, and down here you could pick up another 15. So a total of $35 a day, and this was good, again, all week. Looks great, but unfortunately, there's a big problem, and you could probably already see what it is. We'll zoom in a little bit here. The trips must begin within this zone, right in here. This is only downtown Albany. My area is much bigger than this. I mean, off this map, we have Schenectady to the west. To the north here, there's Troy. You could very easily, and I live over this way, I could drive into this zone, and even on my first trip, I could get called back to the west. The trip could start out here. I don't get the promotion. And let me show you what I mean here. Trips must begin in downtown Albany. So they have to start there. Now, it doesn't say the first trip that you must be in that zone for the first trip and then they'll cover you. No, that sounds to me like every trip is going to start right in the downtown Albany area. The chances of me being able to stay in this area are slim to none for 5 trips. The very first trip, again, I could be sitting in here waiting, get called out, and I'm out of there. Of course, I could decline some, just wait for one that's a minute away and play all those games, and that might be. But even if I was smart enough to do that, or lucky enough to do that, let's say I stay in here, I get my first trip, and I get called all the way. I have to take that passenger all the way out to Schenectady, which is about a 15-minute ride to the west on the highway. Now I'm out in Schenectady, and I get ping, ping, ping. And then I drive somebody a few blocks, 391, get another quick one, and then suddenly now I come over to Troy. This could easily happen, which is again off this map, and you're not getting the benefit. Uber, what are you doing? Whoever designed this either didn't think it through or is purposely trying to mislead the driver into thinking they've got a great deal this week when they don't. Unless there's something I'm missing, I read the wording. It said all trips must begin within downtown Albany. So that sounds pretty clear to me. Any of them. And again, the real bad part is you can be in here and you get the ping, up to Menands or something. And, that's only from here to here is only about a 5-minute ride. And you get hosed. So I have no idea why Uber is doing this. They were headed in the right direction with this other promotion that I started with here, right here. This was open-ended. Now, if they have a need in the morning, in the evening, rush hour, and they want to give an incentive, fine. But you know what? Make that area bigger. Don't make it just downtown Albany. Make it for my entire area so I can go out. I'll work these times. I really don't like mornings. I would probably just do the evenings anyway, and I have another job, so some of this is difficult as well. But, if with this, I might be willing to get up a morning or two and do this, but not with these terms, because this is what Uber does. They seem to, if you don't drive for a while, this took a long time, they'll throw out this incentive, they pull you back in, and then the next deal is much, much worse. But they try to make it look better. It's really aggravating, and I have no idea if they're just doing this on purpose or, is this something they're not thinking through? I would like to think that it's just they didn't think it through, but to me this seems like, hey, let's make it look like they're getting a great deal. Now, new unsuspecting drivers could easily get pulled into this. They'll figure it out very quickly when, they get pulled out of here and they realize they're not getting the $4 extra and the $3. But in any event, that's my criticism of their latest promotion. They were headed in the right direction. I got my $500 for my 50 trips, and now they're throwing me this, and I'm really just not interested in it. So, Uber, you're going to have to do better than this, and you can.